Welcome back to the Colorado Springs Business Podcast. My name is Andrew Hasley, and I am the host of the show. Today, we are sponsored by the Colorado Springs Business Podcast. If you'd like me to read a 15 to 30 second ad of your business right at the beginning of every episode, we can make that happen. So reach out to the Colorado Springs Business Podcast, we'll do that. So today, I'm sitting with Rick Isaac and Alasia Coons from Altitude Financial Planning. So Rick, can you tell me a little bit about what your business is in about a sentence or two?
I would summarize our business as we empower our clients to dream, see what's possible, and then make those lifetime dreams a reality.
Sweet. All right, I'm gonna roll the intro music.
This is a show where we have real conversations with the business owners and entrepreneurs here in Colorado Springs, doing things in the community of Colorado Springs.
Sweet. I'm so glad you guys are here right now. It was a last minute thing. I didn't know you were bringing the founder, and I love having founders on the show.
Oh, yes. I figured that he would be able to get our voice and our story out there much better than I could.
For sure. So Rick, you mind telling us a little bit more about your business and kind of why you got started in it and the fun details about it?
Okay. I actually spent 10 years in public accounting. With a large international accounting firm, KPMG. Okay. After 10 years, really it was a personal decision. I had reached the kind of the crossroads of whether I wanted to go into the partnership or not, and just really thought about that. And I was, I guess, meaning of life and so forth was very good. But you'd get home at the end of the day and you'd save millions of dollars for some corporation on some tax deal or tax planning strategies. And there just wasn't that level of personal satisfaction. So I wanted to get into the individual side of things and had an opportunity to get into the financial planning world and help make the dreams a reality for clients. And that's been much more satisfying. That was 25 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I started in Wichita, Kansas.
Nice. And
moved to Colorado Springs 13 years ago. And I still have offices both in Wichita and Colorado Springs.
That's awesome. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I know it's a little bit of distance from Wichita. But yeah, that's cool. So what is the financial, what are some of the things you do to help your clients?
I would say the most important thing is in our initial interviews is just talking to them and empowering them to dream. And the reason I say that's one of the most important things is if you create a compelling vision for your clients and they have a compelling vision, it makes it much easier for them to stay the course on a long-term basis and realize, why are we doing what we're doing? So when you have that vision, that dream, that's what makes for better clients from our standpoint, but it also helps the client ultimately stay the course and achieve their dreams.
Sweet. So who's your ideal client then?
I would say our ideal client is someone that is retiring or getting ready to retire would be one. Okay. I've also worked with a number of professionals, both doctors, attorneys, some executives as well, small business owners. Okay. So across the board. For sure. Obviously, my tax background comes in to play in terms of understanding the tax ramifications of the retirement and so forth. But anybody in that range, generally, we'd like to see clients with about 200,000 plus of investable assets. Okay. And we work under a fiduciary standard. It's all based on fees versus commissions, so that we're on the same side of the table as our clients and working to help them reach their dreams.
Okay, and like the tax side, what does that look like? So you help people really like not make mistakes in their tax side?
I made the choice 25 years ago when I left the CPA world. I had a lot of people ask me to continue doing taxes, and I don't do taxes on a regular basis. But it's that knowledge of taxes and how that's going to impact distribution strategies. What's going to be the interplay between, if we take an IRA distribution, how much should we take, and is that going to make more or less of their Social Security income taxable? Should we pull money from a Roth if we've have a Roth IRA, or should we pull it from the regular? So it's more just the practical aspect of that, of knowing how to be the most efficient we can on a tax basis.
Okay.
Versus doing their taxes. They still need to have their own CPA or do
for
it
sure.
themselves.
I see. So you can just kind of guide them in a little bit of way that kind of helps you. And so with IRAs, I've heard it, but I don't really know what it is. Do you mind explaining that a little bit?
Well, IRAs are on an individual basis, much like what you have with 401ks if you work for a large corporation. So anybody can set up an IRA, and there's different rules for deductibility on those IRAs. You can set up either a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA. You can have rollover IRAs if you leave your employment, and you can roll it over into an IRA. And so those are all different options that you have. It's all qualified money that then you have available for you in retirement.
Okay. And is that one of the like main things you focus on?
Yes, we help clients with a lot of IRA rollovers, as well as if people are in, say, stock option plans or other things. With my tax background, what's the best way to diversify if you've got a lot of holdings in a corporate stock? We work with those, with executives. We help small business owners either set up IRA plans for their employees, or if it's appropriate, depending upon the size of the business and circumstances, we may also help them establish a qualified 401k plan as well.
So what about like financial planning outside of RIAs? Do you help with that? Like figuring out like, okay, you need to be spending this much money here, this much money there. You're kind of messing up over here.
As part of our reviews, we sit down and talk about that. You know, I view clients very much as friends.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we sit down and talk on a regular basis about how things are going within the portfolio.
Okay.
And within their life. What expenses do they have? What do they need? I'm also a firm believer, and this may sound strange coming from a financial advisor, but I think it's not just about how much do you save. Yes, we want to plan for retirement, and we want to make sure that we're covered in retirement, but we also don't want to sacrifice current lifestyle unnecessarily to have a excess, say, in retirement.
Because there's better ways to go about that.
There's better ways to do it. One of the books I recently read talks about the need to balance your health, your time, and your financial resources. So, for example, so many people will sacrifice everything till they get to retirement. Something happens to them. Untimely illness or sudden heart attack, and they never get to enjoy that. And trying to find the right balance of when you have your health. Let's say you want to go, one of your dreams is to go skydiving.
It is.
Okay. If you want to go skydiving, you're probably a lot more capable of doing that in your 20s, 30s, even early 40s. If you wait and say, that's on my bucket list, I want to do it when I'm 65.
And this is where the dream aspects come. You kind of help people realize their dreams a little bit.
You realize their dreams. You help prioritize those dreams. So, yes, we do the traditional financial advisory stuff with asset management, but we also spend a lot of time talking to our clients almost as a life coach about what are your dreams, how do we prioritize these different things to accomplish what you want to do. So, yes, you've got safety and security in retirement.
Yes.
But you've also been able to do other things you want to do when you have the health or time, the ability to do those things as well.
Yeah, it's always good to look into the future, like as far as retirement, but that's something I never do. What do you think about that? Do you think I should be?
I think you should be sitting down and thinking about what do you want retirement. But like I said, it is a balance.
Yeah, for sure.
There, and you don't want to sacrifice everything in the current just to have a retirement. Yes,
definitely.
You want to plan for that, but I guess that's the biggest message I'd like to convey to clients and prospects is there is a balance there. It's not just about saving for retirement.
Yeah.
But balancing what are your lifetime experiences and how do you maximize those lifetime experiences versus just maximizing your money.
For sure. So do you get people's money to work for them? Did you say that? Okay. Nice. Yeah. Yes, it is.
So yes, we work with clients in terms of asset management. We also deal with risk management. I guess the other thing that I would say is unique. Everybody talks about risk in the market, and obviously we've seen a lot of that this year.
Oh yeah,
with the market going way down, and then it's come back,
and it always does.
It always
so far it has.
Yes, you've got to take a long-term approach on that and not panic at the lows. But the other thing that I always say is your biggest risk isn't that risk of loss. Your risk is the risk of not achieving your personal dreams. We only have one life to live.
For sure.
And the biggest risk is not being able to achieve your dreams or live the life that you want to live. And so we try and help balance that.
Okay.
So if someone, for example, to live their dreams, we may talk about being a little bit more aggressive in their portfolio because they can't save a lot of money. And we balance that risk against the risk of not achieving your dreams. On the other hand, if you've got someone that has been very fortunate and sold a business or done something where they've got plenty, then you take a totally different strategy to make sure that they can achieve their dreams, and you treat that a totally different situation than someone that has to be very more aggressive. But I also maintain that some of those clients that don't have a lot, some people say, well, you've got to protect what little you have. I take a different approach with that is, if that's the case, why not be more aggressive so you have a chance to reach your dreams versus just...
If you're waiting around doing nothing, you never know what's going on, what's going to happen. You could take a plane flight next week and then that plane wrecks,
Yeah.
So it's like, it's interesting to balance that kind of, to balance risk, because it can be difficult to really estimate. You can have the perfect 5-year plan and then COVID happens. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you want to balance those things and
I say go for it.
Yeah. You want to go for it when you have a chance. And one of the things that hit me with, someone that I know well, a client, and they retired, and the wife all of a sudden had onset of a particular disease that is, and they did make plans. It was right against the border, but felt they could still travel to Paris this spring and summer.
Oh,
obviously that got canceled. And as her disease is progressing, by the time things reopen, they probably won't be able to make that trip. That's a lifetime dream that doesn't get accomplished.
Wow. Yeah.
And what we try and do is obviously you can't guarantee. None of us know when things like that are going to happen. But it just emphasizes the points of doing things when you can do them.
Yes, exactly.
Versus waiting until you retire. I mean, and I've been fortunate. I mean, it's one of the things, in spite of my obviously commitment to clients and so forth, but it's also nice because I can keep in touch remotely when I want to. Travel is a big part of some of my dreams. I've had the chance to travel throughout the world.
Nice.
Just spent a month in New Zealand in February before things shut down.
Nice. Yeah, I really want to travel the world as well. Yeah. I have not yet.
Been in Europe. I've seen the pyramids, you know, been to the Great Barrier Reef. Just a number of things that are on.
I want to go to Mars.
That's not on my bucket list,
Okay.
but it may be possible, especially in your generation.
No, for sure. That's why I have to make millions of dollars so I can pay for the Mars trip.
So, but trying to balance those things and do them when you can, versus waiting until you retire.
For sure.
I mean, one of the things I'm trying to plan out right now, for example, is a bike tour through Europe next summer.
Nice. That'd be awesome. The Tour de France?
No, not the Tour de France. It's going to be more casual. I also enjoy fine wine, so it will probably be through wine country with very nice dinners at the end of the ride on a given day.
For sure. So if I had no money to invest right now, how would you go about helping me?
We would sit down with you and probably create a plan of what you need to start doing. Obviously, that's not our target market, but it's kind of a community service.
For sure.
We will sit down with people and at least help them develop their dreams.
Or maybe even refer them to someone who that is the target market.
Yes, and then refer them. But what I'll do is I will sit down with those people for an initial meeting, at least to help understand what your dreams are and other things, and then provide a referral if we can't help them.
Yeah.
To another professional. So that's the way that we do that.
Sweet. And Elijah.
Hello.
You are the head of the marketing.
I am social media marketing coordinator. I do love it. I love talking to people, so it is right up my alley.
Nice. So how's that been? What is some of the things the strategies you're doing to help market this business?
It has been interesting, to say the least, especially this year with everything going on, COVID, all kinds of political stuff going on. It's tough having advertisements out there when they get drowned out by the news feed, but just like everything else, you got to work with it. You got to adjust with everything that's going on. But overall, it's been amazing. We started... I think that, Rick, you hired me in December, and we had no likes on our Facebook. We didn't have any kind of social media presence, and now we're about to hit 500, and those are all people that I know. Most of them I know personally, which is wonderful, having close connections on our page. And just meeting people in the community has been an incredible experience. I mean, I've met so many wonderful people that you've also had the chance to meet, so I know you get that. But it's been amazing. I'm very, very lucky to be in this job, and I'm very, very blessed overall, and I'm excited to have more clients come in so they can feel the kind of encouragement that I've gotten from Rick.
Nice. Sweet. So what's the lead gen process look like a little bit?
Right now it's more of just getting awareness out there that we're here in Colorado Springs, and that we're accepting new people to have into the office just to talk about their dreams and whatnot. I don't really have a in detail line of how I go about doing it. It's more of just playing it by ear, seeing how things go, and as things calm down with social media, with COVID, I know we'll do more networking groups, getting more our faces out there in public, meeting people for coffee. We love Zoom meetings, but it's not our favorite thing. We would much rather prefer something like this where we're really getting to meet our people and get to know who they are as an individual. You can't really get that over the phone. But overall, it's been great, and it's just a learning process.
Yeah.
And I will interject there, in the midst of this pandemic, and we understand we're available for business in multiple ways. Obviously, we're more than willing to sit down with clients face to face. But we also realize with at-risk individuals and so forth that if they want to meet via Zoom right now and that's what they're comfortable with, we're more than happy to to do that as well.
Because I know that's what my grandma is more comfortable with that. She doesn't want to go out. She wants to stay home and stay safe.
I understand, and so every individual has their own thoughts on that, and we're willing to work with whatever that may be. One
thing I've noticed is, surprisingly, and I think there's a culture shift around it, that Zoom meetings and video meetings, like that, there's a surprising amount of connection you can get out of it that people didn't expect. So it's actually interesting. Like it's not just a phone call. It's like having that face to face, even though it's like through a screen. It still has some kind of like, it's still pretty powerful. For some meetings, it's even more better or more efficient. Like, you know, if you have a client in Italy, it might be just easier to Zoom them.
Yeah, it's probably easier to Zoom them. I'd like to meet them face to face.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be awesome. Yeah. And so I've realized, like, when it comes to speed, though, you can eliminate travel. You can save time. It depends on how many meetings. I mean, if your business is relying on doing 20 meetings a day, you might have just 10x your time. You might have just automated everything. So there is that aspect. That's one thing I've noticed, and I think we're going to be more open to video calls and video conferences moving forward. Like even after things settle down, like. I was talking about this yesterday on the podcast. I could even imagine, like, down the line, you know, we have living rooms and stuff like that. I could even imagine people have spots in their houses that are like video rooms meant for like calls and meetings, and like everything set up like this, you know, in here. Like it's already set up for you. You don't have to, all you have to do is hit a button and then go, and you look good on camera. Yes. And a lot of business owners are realizing that and realizing they don't need to have a giant commercial space that's filled with 100 people when a lot of people can just work from their house.
And I think that's going to be the case with a lot of the larger corporations. I would emphasize kind of the personal nature of our business. I can't ever imagine not having a office for clients to come into and meet face to face, or meet them at a coffee shop. Yes, we can do that, or over dinner or lunch, and we do all of those things. But kind of the personal nature of it, you can conduct some reviews and conduct some business, and it's more efficient. You don't have to do that every single time.
For sure.
Like I've got several clients in the Castle Rock area, and we still have probably 2 meetings a year face-to-face, but there's a lot of business even with that distance. It is more efficient. We can just get on Zoom or use e-signature to sign documents versus having to travel back and forth. And so that part has been beneficial.
Sweet. So with your business, what has been some of the challenges you've had to overcome, or if you've had any challenges or battle stories?
I think probably one of the biggest challenges for me is when I actually starting the business I was very fortunate, and coming out of public accounting had a number of contacts and referrals, and it became very easy to build my practice in Wichita.
And that was 25 years ago?
That was 25 years ago.
Just want to get context.
Yes. So that part was easy. What I didn't realize is, without some of those contacts and professional contacts, moving to Colorado Springs. And that's where Alasia has really come in and helped, because people that meet me, as you get to know me and find me very personable and things, but marketing is probably not my greatest strength.
For sure.
And bringing in Alasia to do that, I have maintained and would argue that there's very few advisors out there that have the same analytical skill set that I do, coming from public accounting.
That's your UVP, your unique value proposition?
Yeah. So from a technical standpoint, very strong. But I think the biggest challenge has been getting out in the community and networking and getting word out.
Yeah, if that's not your strong suit, that's a smart move to have someone else do it. Like that's
right.
That's how you grow your business and scale it. I know editing is my strong suit, but it's a bottleneck in my business. So I need to outsource the editing so that I can focus more on, you know, getting out in the community and meeting clients and doing all that stuff. And And this podcast actually has been a really tremendous top of the funnel brand awareness thing. You know, like this is where I meet people and I get to know business owners. And so it's like, but it also gets pushed out across, it's growing my awareness, especially since I decided to go to 5 episodes a week. It's growing my awareness like really big. So it's like, it's really awesome. I don't know. So yeah, I definitely outsourcing is something that I need to start implementing in my business so I can start. And I already have. I mean, today someone's going to be editing this episode as soon as we finish. So shout out to Edgar, Edgar, the editor. So yeah. Just, I don't know why I went off on that spiel, but yeah, I think it was just because I agree with, I think it's a smart move that you've had that you're starting to, that you've outsourced this something that you knew was a weakness so that you can focus on your strengths.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is, and looking at long-term, whether Alasia transitions into that role on a long-term basis as a junior advisor, or if we need to move a little bit quicker and bring in even another junior advisor to help manage some of those other clients so that we can service a broader range of clients.
Okay.
So that's been a little bit of a challenge as well, just trying, because I'm a person that wants to help everybody, but yet the reality is you can't sit down with that and realizing where your strengths are. I mean, my strength is, as I've mentioned to Alasia personally, I want to see probably if we added 35 to 40 clients over the next 5 years. That's not a lot of clients per year, but very deep personal relationships when we're talking about their dreams. How do you fulfill those dreams? And so that gets you a narrower niche of clients.
But you're going deeper, so it allows you to provide more value.
So more value, but realizing at the same point, and that's one of the things I've had to realize, is I can't do that and still be servicing 100 or 200 clients.
For sure. Yeah. So getting some more other advisors on the team,
right?
Expanding that way. So what would you say would be some of the highlights of your career? What's like one of your favorite things about doing this, or something that's happened, like a really cool story?
I think some of my favorite stories are sitting down with clients after they've taken this dream trip or whatever. We've encouraged them to do something, and just and many of them have done it pre-retirement, but sitting down with them and talking about looking at their photos and just seeing their eyes light up and talk about their experiences and realizing that we've had a part in making that possible and encouraging them to do that.
For sure. And that's a good thing, like overall, probably what you see with every client though, right? Or I mean, every client, you love seeing that. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you love to see that. And quite honestly, that's why I made that transition from public accounting, where I was on a very successful track to be partner within 10 years, to leaving that and working with individuals, and the self-satisfaction of that is tremendous. And I would say that's the highlight of.
For sure. Is there any specific moments, like one year was better than the other, or like how is like that been like on the business side? Highlights in the business side. I mean, I know that's still like that's the client side. That's still part of your business. Yeah.
I can't, and I'm trying to think back. Obviously, I guess probably from a business standpoint is in 2006, made the decision late 2005, and then we built a home here and moved in late 2006. But from a business standpoint, getting the business and having qualified staff in Wichita that can really run that office on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis was a huge accomplishment, because it allowed me to achieve one of my dreams of living out here versus living in Wichita.
For sure.
And so, shout out to Craig and Becky. Craig is fully licensed and things and really runs that office on a day-to-day basis. It wouldn't be possible to do what I've done without both of them. And Craig and running the office there and being able to meet with clients. I go back 5 or 6 times a year to meet with clients there in that office. And so that has been one of the highlights.
Awesome.
Just a personal note on that side, prior to COVID, and I don't know what's going to happen, I was a season ticket holder for 20 years with Wichita State basketball. So that's probably one of my personal passions.
Nice.
And so I would always arrange out of those 5 or 6 trips, probably one right at the start of the season, one at the end, and one in between. So I'd probably get about 3 of those trips in when I could catch.
Nice. It's a twofer.
some games.
Yeah.
At Coke Arena, and but that's always been that's one of my passions and things, and then had the chance to even follow them, in postseason when they go to different tournaments or whatever.
For sure.
That's been some of the highlights. Probably one of my favorite personal highlights that I look back on is my youngest adopted son.
Okay.
When he was 2nd or 3rd grade, I don't remember. And Wichita State, it was the year that they actually ended up going to the Final Four, and they were playing in Salt Lake City. And I made a decision on Tuesday. You don't have a lot of time. They played on Thursday. I was taking him out of school Wednesday afternoon, and we were driving to Salt Lake City. He was already off Friday because of spring break. And we got to go out there, the 2 of us, and it's actually when they upset Gonzaga, who was the number 1 team in the nation at that time, and being able to sit there and enjoy that as the initial steps on their journey to the Final Four that year. So
awesome. I got to go hit this button real quick. I was thinking about it like the last minute, but thankfully the audio still goes. So the way we fix that is I just slap a logo right there for the time that it's off. Yeah. Yeah. So that's still going. Yeah, I was thinking in my head, I wanted you to finish your story because I didn't want to cut you off in the middle of it. Yeah. That's some of the kinks we have to work out here. It's just a process. Like I've moved really fast with growing this podcast. Like I got a place before I was ready. We were recording with like these microphones before we had this system, and then I got to upgrade to I got to connect it to my computer and get this little piece of equipment. It's all technical stuff. We don't need to get all in that. Yeah, so I guess we can actually probably start wrapping up here soon. Is there anything specifically you'd like to let people know or promote?
I'll let you go first. Is there anything you want to say on the social media side? Or
I would like to invite anyone who would like to learn more about us or meet with Rick individually or myself to go ahead and reach out to us and do that, because we would love to talk to them about their dreams or just about who we are in general, just to establish a relationship, because that would be wonderful. I'm always looking to meet new people, because there's always something to learn from people here in the Springs. There's always something to learn. So that's my little bit.
Yeah, I would just echo what Elijah said. We love to sit down with people and hear about their dreams. That's what makes my job exciting. It's what lights me up each day is even if someone doesn't become a client, but being able to sit down with people, even introductory, and learn about their dreams or encourage them to pursue their dreams, that it is possible to reach your dreams. That's the message I would convey. And the other message is that the primary risk you face in your life is not reaching your dreams. You've only got one life to live it to the fullest. One of the things that you'll see on our social media, I'm a big proponent. I give Elijah a lot of quotes. She finds nice backgrounds and pictures to post with them. But inspirational quotes and other things, because I truly believe we've been given one life to live, and you want to live that life to the fullest and achieve as many dreams as you can. And we try and balance that with making sure that at the same time that you have safety and security during your retirement years. But we're not all about just pigeonholing money away for that. You've got a life to live and dreams to live and a life to experience.
I'm about to go jump off a plane right now. Well,
All encouraged.
yeah. Well, all right, guys. It was great having you guys on the show. Yeah, that's the show, I guess, and we'll wrap up, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Thank you so much, Andrew.
Yeah,
we
thank you.
appreciate the opportunity to come in.
All right, cool. And